chat? Happy Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. I'm Gun. Twitter.com/Gundecker. Joined by my co-host, the Leather Chair. Leather Chair's been playing DFS for many years now. I'm excited to finally have him on. Man of very few words, but he kind of stinks, kind of smells, especially his roommate eating that curry. I don't know what I'm doing here. Raj is the co-host today, but he is AFK. He said something about they're fixing his air conditioner and that they were drilling it, so give him a minute. In the meantime, how are you guys? Hopefully you guys had a profitable night last night. It was a night that turned into blowouts, right? Started really well. We only had one game that I think that was within 10 points when it all said and done. It was the T-Wolves and the Cavs. Fantasy-wise, Scotty Barnes, 65 fantasy points. Holy, big game out of him. And then just through a couple of disappointments, a couple of guys that, what are you going to do? They got ejected. Darren Fox, 50 real points. We liked him. SGA, big game out of him. Giannis, 60-plus fantasy points out of him. DeJounte Murray gets ejected. You guys remember it was some good stuff, some bad stuff. Hopefully there was more good than bad for you guys. If not, new month, refresh, reset, and this is a full month of really just NBA to focus on. Yeah, we have some NASCAR over the weekend. Some of you guys might hit golf, but for me, my main three sports are NFL, NBA, and of course MLB, and hopefully within next couple hours, maybe 2 hours, we might have MLB opening, and that'll be such a happy moment. I thought we might have a late night MLB agreement, but they pushed the deadline back, so that was good news. And yeah, so maybe, just maybe, on the stream we'll get MLB, and that'll be fun. Shout out to the live chat. Shout out to you guys out here grinding. Justin Brooks, Mia Moore, Jason Garnett says, roll up the burners. Slip that vodka in the cup and let's talk basketball, man. Can't relate, but a little early for that, huh? What up, W. German? What up, Skimmer? Real close to ending my sad DFS career, moving on to PrizePicks only. Hey, man, PrizePicks definitely a simpler way to play and get some action and, not have to manage hundreds of lineups and late swaps and babysit news all night. I get it. A lot lower stress. So, whatever's helping your mental, Skimmer, definitely wouldn't point and laugh at you. I think plenty of people have made the transition to prop betting and PrizePicks. I unfortunately don't live in a state where I can't sports bet, but I do wonder sometimes if I had access to sports betting at my fingertips, would I play a little bit more of that than DFS? Maybe. I still love DFS. What up, Thomas? Thanks for the props, guy. No problem. What up, a couple of the kingdom? Hop on the Wiggins train. We do like Andrew Wiggins. We just did the PrizePicks Hour show. Andrew Wiggins was definitely one of the guys that stood out quite a bit. What up, Keith? What up, Hustle? What up, Solo? Obi? I wish I needed my air conditioner fixed in March. Raj is in Canada, so I can't imagine he's sweating to the oldies. You know what I mean? Maybe I know air conditioner could also mean heat, or maybe just prepping. I don't know. Could be an apartment complex. I don't know. Leather Chair is probably better at DFS than me. Maybe my luck would be reincarnated as a leather chair, only to end up in a house full of cats with claws, or a bunch of sweaty fat guys who don't believe in pants. I don't know. What is happening? Chat. Hey, we launched a new Discord. I think Danny's posted the link a few times, but pressing it, pushing it. You know the vibes, as Raj would say. If you guys haven't joined it, it is a free Discord. It's not the RunDFS.com Discord, but it is a free Discord that hopefully we here at the community can build and make something nice out of. Looking to add to the team, add more stuff. But I decided to launch a roll. The first 100 people that join this Discord will get this OG roll and have your names blue, man. That'll show that you guys were part of the original people to get in here and make it happen. All I'm asking for is the positive vibes, man. Don't make this like another like other Discords that are gambling intense or DFS intense. Keep the vibes up, support each other, share the goodness, share your screenshots, and we'll have a lot of fun. It is also linked with YouTube, so as it evolves, we have some members only channels. This is for those of you that have spent, I think it's $5 a month to be a YouTube member. And you'll have, private channels there. I'll try and be as active as I possibly can, and then we'll add some of the Run DFS regulars. Maybe I can get Josh in here and Chronic and those guys in there, and then we'll just have some fun here. Probably integrate some video game stuff, all that good stuff. So go be part of that. Shout out to all you guys that did do it since yesterday's stream. Plenty of you guys jumped in here. I remember shouting out Friar Faithful yesterday, maybe, or Cool Cag, Friar Faithful, JJ Truckin, Stu, my boy Stu, shout out to Stu, DB, Bugsy, Kenza, Roscoe, Mr. Pick'em, Miss Kellett, Batman, Dat Boy Tez, Sports Freak, Score, Polsey, J. Cole, Jermaine, Cole, Cade, Mr. Q, Sco, that's my boy Quinn, Giffo, Justin, OB, man, you guys fill it up. Jump into, we got a NBA main sports channel. I've been, as more ideas happen or improvements happen, I've been throwing them at Danny. She's part of the mod team here, and then hopefully maybe some of you guys out there that have some mod history can help out as well. This stream is brought to you by RunDFS.com. If you guys want to get into the premium Discord and then get into my premium spreadsheets, my projections, my player pools, all that stuff, you can do so by going to RunDFS.com, getting yourself a premium sub, and that'll get you all the links you need to do or need to access to get behind the paywall as well. So lots of cool ways for our community to connect, free and paid, and hopefully the free Discord is a success and you guys have some fun there. If any of you guys play MLB The Show or Fortnite, and a cool way to connect with you guys and not just DFS, show up in those shows, man. We'll run some squads. Me and Danny will run some squads or play some of you guys in the show. Let me know. What up, made it happen? Get a VPN and you can bet those. Maybe. I don't know. That's a lot of hoops to jump through. You know what I mean? That truck I spent a ton rebuilding blew up yesterday. No, Caleb, that sucks. What up, Taran? Hey, Gun, do you like Man Fantasy and Luka over 2.5 threes to add with y'all other plays? Terrence Mann is fine. Honestly, he has a little bit of volatility, but it is the Houston Rockets, so I wouldn't talk you off of it. But it probably wouldn't become a core play of mine. I don't want the troll Luke Kennard game, but I definitely wouldn't push back. He plays plenty of minutes to realize a good game against the Houston Rockets. So, yeah. Speaking of the slate that we are about to break down, Underdog NBA J-Fan put out some news to watch. LeBron James questionable. Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby both questionable. Neither one of those guys played last night against these Nets. Kevin Porter Jr. questionable. John Collins is doubtful. And Andre, the Giant Drummond, questionable. Didn't play the fourth quarter last night, but it also could have been directly tied to the blowout there. We talked a little bit about that on the preceding NBA PrizePicks show. So we'll see. Hopefully news comes out. It is a modest 6-game slate. The first couple games were not as appealing to me, but going through them on the PrizePicks show, but it gets better. We got a couple really fun games to target. Before we do that, Rod, you good, man? Everything's all right?
Good now. Now we good. We're good to go. No, they're just changing the filter of the AC unit. Got changed the filter, so just have to do a little drilling. So just watching the guy in there.
So somebody in chat was asking or saying that they wish it was cold enough. Is it for you getting too hot up there, or do you just maintenance?
No, so usually between maintenance, and right, because winter's coming to an end, it's going to be spring, so usually change the filter around that time.
Yeah,
it's just gross.
I think in November we had to change our I don't know if it's Freon or whatever, but the heat went out for a day. Oh my god, it was insufferable. Or not the heat, the air went out for a day. And then every year, since we only use the heat for maybe like a month out of the year, every time we first fire up the heat, it just stinks so bad. And this year it actually set off the smoke detector. And I don't know, I guess sometimes maybe some bird nests or some mouse nests or something like that get into the vents. But I imagine you guys use the heat a little bit more than we do down here. But yeah, nice to see you join us on the show. I thought your chair was gonna take over. You know, maybe not the best chair I've seen, but it's an okay chair.
Yeah, it's a regular test chair. It ain't no professional gaming chair like you gamers out there.
I bought like a presidential recliner because gaming chairs ain't built gun tough. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Burkhead, what up, Jordan? Shout out to the maintenance man out there all over the world, keeping the world going. One drill bit at a time. Justin Jennings, what up, Obi-Wan? Tom says, bro, they're fixing the quote AC unit. Man was burning some devil's lettuce. Oh man, can't do it. Anyway, Raj, how'd you do last night?
Last night was I got lucky and min cash from my main line. I had all the Scotty Barnes, but I also had like all the Siakam with him.
Yeah, I noticed my top Scotty Barnes lineups either had like Gary Trent or Siakam, or it was like, oh man, that sucks. Scotty Barnes went nuclear.
Yeah, like I had all the Gary Trent, but I had all the John Morant. Like I had so many lineups with John Morant and Scotty Barnes with the Siakam or Trent, so just kind of killed it. But so just min cashed everywhere, which is annoying but fine, I guess.
Yeah,
PrizePicks was terrible. That was just another night of just.
It's we lost a lot of fourth quarter equity, a couple blowouts, a couple of ejections, a lot of blowouts. Yeah. New month, new us. Anyway, let's start talking about this slate a little bit. We went briefly game by game during the PrizePicks show. I tended to warm up to the slate on the second half. The first couple games I was lukewarm with. We're still waiting on some news. The Van Vliet to Anunoby news. No Kyrie. Back-to-back games here for them. Not looking good for their chances to maybe steal one here. We'll see. First game on the docket tonight, the Detroit Pistons up against the Washington Wizards. Project starting five for the Pistons. Corey Joseph, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Isaiah Stewart taking on Raul Neto, Corey Kispert, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, and Daniel Gafford. 215.5 total, 3.5 point spread in favor of the home team Washington Wizards. So Kyle Kuzma has been on a little bit of a tear here in this purgatory, I guess you could say, with no Spencer Dinwiddie, no Bradley Beal, no Montrezl Harrell, and no Kristaps Porzingis in a couple of his last games outside of what we've designated as the third game in 4 nights, night 2 of a back-to-back, where he just came out flat against the Nets. Every other game, he has given you, 30, high 30s in minutes, and just the production has been exquisite. 20 to 30 real points and plenty of peripherals to boot. The shot attempts will probably get to near 20. So he is somebody that stands out to me, and he is, I don't know who I can comp him to. Maybe it's DeRozan, right? I always feel like, tonight's the night DeRozan doesn't do it, and he keeps doing it. Obviously, last night he didn't. But Kuzma, is it a brain thing, or you just don't like paying $9K for Kuzma, and then he comes out here and drops 50 and 60 yet again? Does that happen again against the Pistons? Maybe. Kuzma, 8,700 on FanDuel. That feels like a price point that we're going to get to. It does. It is an increase of his most recent stretch, where he was like in the high 7s, mid 7s. But Kuzma was like the standout option for me on the Wizard side. They did add Thomas Satoransky, former Pelican great, former Wizard great, back into the mix here. So Neto, Ish Smith, Satoransky, they could all maybe vulture each other, cannibalize each other. So I think Kuzma's kind of standing out to me as like my favorite click. Every now and then I think I could click on some of these Kisperts, KCPs, maybe even a Neto and Big Phil Turners, but I think it's a lot of Kuzma. And then the Pistons side, just kind of spin the wheel, make a deal, probably set some rules here. Maybe no more than one of the big three when it comes to Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant. Maybe no more than 2 because the prices are okay. They do have some news that isn't insignificant. Frank Jackson, Ham Diallo, and Marvin Bagley all have some tags on them, and I believe Bagley has become doubtful. So could be a couple extra minutes for Jeremy Grant, but maybe a little bit more solidified opportunity for Kelly Olynyk, who is about 5K on both sides. So no matter which way I slice it, even when it comes to Kuzma, I'm probably not too excited about this game. We're dealing with a couple of medium to low pace teams, and the offensive output expected here isn't really that great in context or comparative to some of the other games we're going to have today. But I do feel like there's still tournament ceiling ranges of outcomes on the Cunninghams, Bays, Grants, even the Isaiah Stewarts and the Kuzma that I want some pitter patter, some shares here. Anything standing out to you on this game?
I mean, Kuzma's price tag definitely stands out. 9K guy, back to back 60 bombs, and do it in two different games. Like first game where he had the 60 bomb, 153, 157, and he dropped 60 fantasy points in an 86 to 92 game. So, maybe the kind of the environment doesn't necessarily matter because he has all the usage, and do it all with no Bradley Beal, no Dinwiddie there now. It's his show. He's the best player on the team. He's gonna have to do it all for this team against Detroit. I like the matchup. So 9-2 Kuzma, I think I'm fine with it. I think 60-point upside is definitely there again in this matchup. So give me some Kuzma. Roll Neto 4-5. Pass against 44 and 17. I think that's what you can kind of expect from him. You can either have a big game and win you a slate, or you can just lose you a slate and get you under 20 fantasy points. But I think I'll have him in the pool because I do think he's gonna have to be out there. On the Detroit side, centers have been killing Washington. Isaiah Stewart and Kelly Olynyk are essentially in a minute split. If Bagley, he's downgraded doubtful, so I expect him to be out. So Stewart and Olynyk both playing, 25 to 30 minutes. None of those guys exceeding those. I think I'm leaning towards Olynyk. I think Olynyk's upside's a little more. Isaiah Stewart might have the higher floor, but I think Olynyk's upside is a little more just because he does a little more. So give me some Olynyk and maybe even some Isaiah Stewart because at 5K you can definitely get you 35 DKP. And when it comes to guys like Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, and Jeremy Grant, at their prices, like at 6,600 for Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant 63, it's viable, but I don't think they're lock plays.
Yeah, Jeremy says Kuzma's still $35 in Yahoo, almost a free square. Yeah, if he's going to keep producing, I'm going to keep playing him. Hollywood, Westbrook 6,600. God freaking darn it. Hollywood, I was hoping that I would only have to deal with that at the end of the stream. But yes, it is very, very frustrating to see. Not even to see, to keep playing Westbrook and he keeps not hitting, and his price is only getting cheaper. And then LeBron James is questionable tonight, so if something falls the right way and there would be no LeBron, I'm sitting here looking at 6,600 Westbrook and watch me playing for 28 fantasy points or something dumb like that. Jenna says, I feel like Obi-Wan is a co-host. Hey, Gun, Danny, and Raj. What up, Jenna? Maybe, yeah, I appreciate the hype in the chat. Appreciate the thumbs up, all that stuff. If you really want to hype me up, Obi-Wan, check this out. I don't know if we can see it. Can we see that? Can I get it in there? No. I don't know. I'm trying to show you that we're at 6,592 subs, so we're 8 subscribers away from $6,600, which would 6,600 subscribers. So that would put us really within striking distance of that 7K sub goal. We hit almost 350, almost 400 subs in the month of February. By the way, I tweeted it yesterday. February was the best month ever for this channel in terms of subs, revenue, views, all that good stuff. And we missed essentially a whole week of content. So you just wonder what those numbers could have been without the All-Star break. And I think we could realize those numbers this month in March. And if we keep that going, April could be doubled down with potentially some MLB content mixed in. So really, the sky's the limit right now. So shout out to all you guys, because it can't be done without you. And that's why we've launched the free Discord and hoping to build and continue to build something great with you guys. So yeah, Big Bino, what up, Big Bino? Feeling what you've done with the place. Yeah, you like that? So I added that little transition, the 2-screen big cam, but for some reason when I'm on this one test, I don't know, I was looking over and it looked like Raj's mouth was out of sync, and that bugs me. So I don't know. That's
annoying when that happens. No, I know what you mean. That's annoying.
Maybe it's fixed now. I don't know. I felt like a minute ago it felt like it wasn't. Yeah, it bugs me. My brain works like that. Like it was like, I don't know, like Squid Games. People were watching Squid Games. Danny was watching it. It was like I couldn't watch it, man. The lip stuff. Oh, it was driving me nuts. Anyway, let's move on
Anthony
to
Edwards, midday questionable.
Oh yeah, did that just happen?
Yep.
So that, I mean, we were already kind of on D. Russ and Cat, and that would maybe narrow that game down a little bit more. But yeah, midday Qs. So I'm gonna watch for Jared Vanderbilt midday Q with a shoulder tag. Let's see if we get anything else there. Maybe Beverly on night two, back to back, something like that. As that news starts to develop and starts to come out, let's talk about the next game. Boston Celtics hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Project starting five for the Hawks: Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, Danilo Gallinari, and Clint Capella up against Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Robert Williams, the Time Lord. 226.5 total, 6.5 point spread in favor of the home team Boston Celtics. Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, by the way, is the PrizePicks taco, or one of the tacos. They're going to reduce his assist prop to 7.5. And it also sounds like it's going to be Luka's free throw props, which I thought those were two very like beta props for Taco Tuesday. But Raj, I hate picking on this Boston Celtics defense, man. They're playing at a whole different level this side of the new year. So I really hate that a Taco has to bank on success against this defense. But talking about this team from a season-long perspective, a lot of fire and ice, unstoppable force, and movable object stuff. When we look at the team metrics chart in that RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, the Atlanta Hawks have a top 2 offensive efficiency. Meanwhile, the Boston Celtics have a top 2 defensive efficiency. So what is going to give? And I think the Celtics defense has been strong enough to give it some credence, some credit. John Collins doubtful. Celtics got a little bit stunned last game. That's basketball. It's gonna happen. Let's see if they come out here and tighten things up there. No matter what, Trae Young 7.5 assists is metrically low if you let the numbers do the talking. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, it will be there on PrizePicks. You know the drill. PrizePicks. Use code GUNDACKER when you sign up, and they will support me, and you'll also get double your first deposit up to $100. From a DFS standpoint, if I had to paint cases on how this game stays close and who does what, I think past Trae Young, I'm a little bit curious with Kevin Huerter, Danilo Gallinari, and then Bogdan Bogdanovic has a more welcoming DraftKings price than a Fanduel price, and he's offered a few spots and opportunities where he's popped off for 30. And there has been somewhat of a correlation versus the games where Trae Young couldn't give you 30 real points, like the Chicago game. Bogdanovic picks up the slack, right? 27 real points against Chicago, and then he's just really giving you a shot at 30 fantasy points every time he touches the court. So at 5,900, maybe Bogdanovic is a way to get exposure to the Hawks and not feel like you're overpaying for a guy, 9-10K against a tough matchup. 3 games, Bogdanovic is averaging 32 fantasy points. Hey, I'll throw that in the spin cycle at 5,900 on a short slate. So he's kind of a name I'm jotting down in pencil. Capella is intriguing, but I'm not running to target him. I do have a little bit more infatuation with the Celtics side. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I'm probably going to utilize the same approach I've been using all year. Put them both in a player group on Fantasy Cruncher, say, at most one of these two. And I don't really get a lot of overlap and kind of expect their ceilings to not coexist. Maybe the Hawks defense will allow it to happen, but I just kind of been playing by those rules. And then Robert Williams, I thought was an intriguing guy. I think the bulk of my exposure to him will be on PrizePicks. They have him at 10 rebounds, 10 points, but he is such a block-centric guy that his PrizePicks fantasy points was definitely in play as well. And then if you look at his last couple games, 39, 49 in his last 5, as ranges of outcomes to at least appreciate, but I think he's appropriately priced for his risk, his floor, and his ceiling reward. So I probably don't end up with a ton of exposure to this game, just some dots of Brown, Tatum, Williams, and then Trae Young. Man, do you have the same pessimism about Trae Young or really anyone's upside against the Celtics, or are you buying into this man who is ice cold? He's got ice in his veins. Trae Young, I got him. The numbers say 50 plus fantasy points. The numbers say 30 and 10 is what we might expect. What are you doing with the Hawks and Celtics?
I think we got to kind of look at those numbers. Maybe in the past 20 games or so, Boston's just stepped it up. Has been the best defense in the league. Indiana did give them the work and dropped a big number on them. So I think Atlanta definitely has the capability to do that with a guy like Trae Young. But like I said, not a team you want to target. But in a small slate, 6-game slate, 10K Trae Young, don't mind it. I think 50 fantasy points could get it done for you if nobody really goes off and drops a 70 burger. Don't hate it. I believe in the talent. John Collins being questionable, he's doubtful, 6,300. So, I mean, I think that's the bump for guys like Gallinari, Bogdanovich. Gallo passed the game 35, 30 minutes, and 2 different outcomes, 37 fantasy points, 18 fantasy points. Again, that's what you're going to get with Gallinari in a tough matchup. I could be leaning towards the 20 fantasy point spot, but if he gets you 35 to 40, wouldn't be shot. Bogdanovich at 5,900, I think he has tremendous upside. I think he has 40-point upside every time he plays 30-plus minutes. Last game in the blowout, he only played 29 minutes, but you give him 37, 38 minutes in a close game. I like him. I mean, I know it's a tough matchup, but a team stack with these prices, I don't hate it for Atlanta here. Bogdanovich, Gallinari, and Trae Young, or the pick and roll with Capella, with Trae Young, and maybe also add a Gallinari there. I think you can get 3 Hawks in a lineup. Wouldn't hate it. If you want to bring it back with some Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, 2 guys who I think in every slate are in play. Jaylen Brown, 8,700. I still think you're getting a little bit of a discount here. Has 50-point upside, so I'll take it at that price.
Yeah, I think I will be higher on like the T-Wolves Warriors game or the Rockets and Clippers game, but it does feel like I'm going to have some pieces here. And I agree with you saying the prices on the Hawks past like Trae Young, you definitely see built-in potential. The Kevin Huerter, the Gallo, and the Bogdanovich. So I don't think that's a crazy approach here. Marcus Smart.
You mentioned those 2 games. You mentioned the Clippers, Houston, Golden Minnesota. I mean, after those 2 games, this might be the 3rd best game in a 6-game slate.
I mean, last night Scotty Barnes dropped 60.
Yeah, that he did. I'm not tonight's Scotty Barnes fade after drop.
Yeah,
I had all the Barnes yesterday. I'm fading him today. There's no way I'm playing him after he drops 60.
Yeah. All right. Let's get caught up on live chat here before we move on to the next one. Squid Game was bananas. I got the gist of it, but just as an example, like the dub stuff where you got to read a book instead of watch a movie, I just never really did it well. But I guess Squid Games, they did the voiceover, but that drives me even more nuts because the lips don't match it. It's in my head. What up, EB? Said that ain't the stream. Raj is on that weekend, that Bobby and Whitney.
Oh, that Bobby and Whitney type of weekend? I mean,
does that mean you beat girls over the weekend?
Nah, you know what Bobby and Whitney. I mean, no,
I thought it was like a drug joke, but
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
oh, okay. Little old gun, he don't know.
When you're out the office on a Friday night in the finance world, we might get a little Bobby and Whitney though.
So what does that mean?
I just heard Bobby and Whitney. So I mean, once you hear that the first thing that comes to you is a drug joke.
Okay. See, I always just thought. Anyway, what up, Shot Swat? Gun Westbrook is projected for 16, 8.8, and 8.6. So what do you think about his fantasy being at 31? My projection is always going to be so dumb high for Westbrook just because of the historical metrics. So maybe I'm not the guy. I will say my algorithm earlier had Westbrook at 41. But I'm always like super high on Westbrook from a projection standpoint, and it like never happened. So maybe I need to make that weighted adjustment for the 2022 season, man. Did this man just say 70? What up, Alex? Thoughts on Reggie Bullock over 2.5 threes? I think it's live, but not something I'm running to. But we'll revisit that when we get to that game. Spencer Dinwiddie showed that he can score the basketball in that last outing. Drug spree, what's the word? Gun here. What up, Willie? Doing all right. Hey, next game on the docket, Raptors hosting the Nets. Project starting 5 for the Nets. Patty Mills, Seth Curry, Bruce Brown, James Johnson, and Andre the Giant Drummond taking on Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, maybe Scotty Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. VanVleet did not play last night. He carries that Q tag tonight. OG Anunoby broke his finger, I believe. He's been out for a stretch of games, but he's not officially listed as out today. Has a questionable tag. I'm kind of leaning towards out still, but we'll see if that adjusts. The one thing is for sure is that nothing is for sure when it comes to Nick Nurse. So luckily, I guess for us, this game's only 30 minutes after the first game locks, and we can still kind of late swap versus what we might like for the rest of the slate. But man, Raptors have your boy Nurse, man, he's turned into Popovich 2.0. A couple of quotes going the right and wrong way. Last night, though, we saw Fred VanVleet be out, and in some similar scenarios earlier this season, what we saw the Raptors do was just like use Gary Trent as the point guard, Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, guys like that, and they just added to the front court with a Kem Birch or a Precious Achua. I guess OG Anunoby's absence made it to where everyone couldn't just move up 90 feet, you know what I mean? And they threw Malachi Flynn in the starting lineup. And that just kind of messed up everything projection-wise and historical knowledge-wise, because we expected, Siakam to maybe facilitate a little bit more. Maybe all that just got, screwed up anyway because of the blowout being what it was, but it wasn't expected, I'll say, that Malachi Flynn drew the start there, because we had a different precedent. I would assume that on night 2 of a back-to-back, you don't fix what's not broken. If VanVleet and Anunoby are out again, should run back Malachi Flynn as a starting point guard, and then we'll get hashtag DFS, where what happens last night should happen again tonight, but it never does. And Scotty Barnes and Malachi Flynn will probably come in with extremely elevated ownership in that scenario, and then that'll be the night that Gary Trent pops off and Siakam pops off. Nonetheless, it is an 8.5 point spread, and the Brooklyn Nets, who were without Kyrie Irving last night, are still without Kyrie Irving, and it's a team that just hasn't shown a whole lot of life other than like a Knicks game or something like that. So this is I guess pre-flop chat. You guys let me know what you're thinking game theory-wise on this, but it feels like we just should expect the Raptors to win this game pretty handily again. And then the Nets have Q tags on Andre Drummond and Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas seems like it could be a little bit more worrisome than Drummond. Last night, Drummond didn't play in the fourth quarter, but really none of the starters did. That's how dead and stinking that game was. And the Nets closed out with Nick Claxton, Darren Sharp, Kessler Edwards, Cam Thomas, and David Duke. And Cam Thomas has been a guy that, if you look at his body of work in his last 10 games, the games without Kyrie Irving, there's been a few spots where he's offering, almost 20 points, sometimes more than 20 points a game. So his absence, I think, would not be insignificant, and maybe that would give us a couple extra minutes if the game can stay competitive for Patty Mills, for Seth Curry. So maybe look their way. Overall, I gotta say, from this far out, without definitive VanVleet and Anunoby news, this feels like a nightmare, a headache to deal with. But Raj, what are your early leans on Raptors and Nets?
I mean, VanVleet's out. Malachi Flynn should be the highest on the slate, 3,100, coming off 36 fantasy points. Probably a lock and load there. So play him. So the reason why Gary Trent had a big game, if people are watching the game, was the Brooklyn defense just focused all their attention on Siakam. He was getting double and even triple teamed in some spots, so he was just making the right pass, finding Scotty Barnes. In the pick and rolls, they were always doubling him, leaving Scotty Barnes open. So it was a product of the Nets defense. Whether they choose to play that same defense tonight, I doubt it. Clearly didn't work yesterday, so I think it'll be a different matchup. So I actually think Siakam is a very interesting tournament play after letting the world down. His ownership should be relatively low. At 8,900, he still has that 50-point upside. Mm-hmm. So, in the 6-game slate, low ownership, I really like Siakam in tournaments today because I don't expect Brooklyn to play that same defense again. Scotty Barnes, 6K. He might be the second highest on guy on the slate today after dropping a 60 bomb. People are going to look at the box score. He shot 12 for 14. Again,
he has 6 stocks.
Yeah, he has 6 stocks, 5 steals. A little fake. So at 6K, he can still get you 36 fantasy points, which is fine. I don't think necessarily wins you anything, but it's fine. But if his ownership gets super high, I don't mind the fade, especially if Fred VanVleet is in. I don't mind the Scotty Barnes fade at all, with him being as popular as he is. And the Brooklyn side, played a lot of Seth Curry yesterday. Did not work out for me. I think the blowout definitely hurt him. I only played 23 minutes. I think I'm going right back to him here. Again, with no Kyrie, no Durant, no Simmons. He's gonna have to chuck a lot to keep this game close. So give me some Seth Curry here, but I don't really mind. And other than that, I think probably not getting any Andre Drummond today. The minutes just weren't there yesterday.
So I mean, I expect Drummond to be a 22 to 24 minute guy anyway. But we left all of the fourth quarter on the table. And as untrustworthy or unpredictable as Nick Nurse has been, never quite know what to expect from Steve Nash and a couple of their old timers on a back to back, James Johnson, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin. You might get some curveballs out of them. Goran Dragic, former Raptor great. So yeah, I don't know, but I would say that there's reason to suspect that Drummond lost minutes because of the blowout, but Drummond has been going up in price. So at almost $7K, the risk reward for what's probably a median 24-minute projection, even if he is active, is probably not great enough.
I hear you. I mean, I want to say I hit 6,902 on DK.
Oh, you know what? Nash is in protocol.
They have the assistant coach.
He didn't play yesterday, or he didn't play. He didn't coach yesterday either. So, what's the other guy? Jock. What's his name? So I don't know. I guess it's still the same minute expectation. Last night we didn't really see anything crazy during the regular rotation. Wasn't any wild card additions. I guess Blake Griffin getting a decent stretch in the first quarter was weird, but that's because James Johnson was in foul trouble. I don't really expect that, so I it's just a nightmare to predict pre-flop, and this is where we did the PrizePicks show. It was like, my goodness, Boston ill, this game ill. But it got better. The Clippers, the Rockets, the T-Wolves, Warriors, it gets better. So I feel like, guessing this game this far out, it's just going to be not very productive. And this is going to be a game that's really contingent on news, who's active, who's not. VanVleet and Anunoby. I just have a bad feeling about Nurse. Like if one of VanVleet and Anunoby are in, it probably changes up so much. I do like what you said about Siakam yesterday. 2 of 14 was highly inefficient shooting wise, but the offensive rebounding for the Raptors was pretty doggone high. Scotty Barnes was able to pick a lot of those up, and then a lot of stocks. 5 stocks for Siakam. I think we saw five steals and a block for Scotty Barnes, something like that. Siakam, 30 fantasy points in 30 minutes, so point per minute. If this game stays closer a little bit longer, or if this isn't a Scotty Barnes nuclear button slate, I think Siakam bouncing back is a reasonable outcome here. He's 9K, so he's going to need that 50 plus fantasy point performance, but I do like the idea of going to him. I like his Fanduel price very much at 8,300, getting a 40 plus fantasy point projection on that. And then Gary Trent, another guy that yesterday he was getting stocks of his own. He lost all of the fourth quarter as well, and per minute, he gave us 29 fantasy points in 29 minutes, so essentially a point per minute. So it's not like anyone from the Raptors was bad per minute. It was just that we lost the fourth quarter, so these guys that normally give us 37, 38 minutes gave us 30 minutes. It's just the thing is, it could happen again. This Nets team doesn't project very, very well without Kyrie and without any of their backup here. So, yeah. Jacques Vaughn, right? Yeah, what up, Tall? Missed the PrizePicks show. Where were some of your favorite plays? What up, Justin Sports? Off of memory, we liked Reggie Jackson fantasy points, Karl-Anthony Towns fantasy points, and then since we talked about that, Anthony Edwards came out as questionable, and so did Jared Vanderbilt, and also Josh said that Cat had eclipsed double-digit rebounds in every game of his last 10 against the Warriors. If Vanderbilt doesn't play, I think that would bode well for that rebound stretch to continue. Kyle Kuzma fantasy points, and then Andrew Wiggins, no Klay Thompson, no Draymond, revenge game, all that good stuff bodes pretty well for him against that T-Wolves defense. So those are the ones that stood out. Appreciate that, though. You guys, where are we at on likes, man? Shout out to you guys. We've got 130, 140 you guys, 45 likes, man. Keep juicing up that like button, man. I would appreciate it. If you guys are just tuning in, we did launch a free Discord for the YouTube community. And the first 100 of you guys that jump into the Discord will get an OG 100 roll, and my girl Danny, she's been hooking you guys up with the manual roll, and then as the community fills up, maybe we'll have some more fun. We'll do some probably rundfs.com giveaways. There she goes. We'll do maybe some gaming. You guys play. We got a managed channel, COD, Call of Duty, Fortnite, all that stuff. Some gaming, some stuff that the community can kind of hang out a little bit more past this. But also we have the NBA channel, the props channel, all that good stuff, and a members only channel. So those of you that have supported the channel by becoming a channel member, I think it's like $5 a month for like the min one. As we try and create more content that is members only, we also give you a members only channel. So if you guys want to be part of that, link your YouTube with your Discord, and it'll automatically identify you. And I think once an hour, it'll find out who's a member. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff, man. So hit that thumbs up, man. Keep the good vibes going. StatMuse Wiggins versus the Wolves last 5 games. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's move on to the next game. The Clippers at the Rockets. Project starting 5 for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, and Ivica Zubac taking on KPJ, Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Jayshawn Tate, Christian Wood. 227.5 total. 7-point spread in favor of the visiting Clippers. Norman Powell out for indefinitely. We know the story with the Clippers right now. Essentially turned into the Reggie Jackson show. And the Rockets defense has been a optimal matchup to target all year long, offering the worst defensive efficiency in all of basketball. And whether or not KPJ plays or not is kind of a moot point. We don't expect Dennis Schroeder to pick up the slack here. The worst defense above the Sacramento Kings, the Portland Trailblazers. So they are definitely one of the most lucrative and fruitful spots to target. And Reggie Jackson has a $1,200 gap between his Fanduel price and his DraftKings price. I like him for 40-plus fantasy points at either price point, but obviously the 7K price point feels a little bit better. And the PrizePicks line on Reggie Jackson had like a 10-point gap between my projection and theirs. They had him at 35 fantasy points, and I'm spitting back almost 45 fantasy points. So if you guys want to maybe tail my projection on Reggie Jackson on the PrizePicks board, you can do so. And if you're not on PrizePicks, you know the drill. Sign up using code GUNDACKER. KPJ is questionable. Garrison Matthews questionable. They both are dealing with, I believe, left ankles. Raj, this feels like a stackable game. When it comes to anyone against the Rockets that could be live for 30 minutes, Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, Luke Kennard, even some Ivica Zubac, all these guys are in play for me. I think Reggie Jackson maybe makes you think about what to do with him at that price, right? You never want none, but 8K Reggie Jackson has some bust potential. What are you doing with Clippers and the Rockets?
Yeah, 8K Reggie Jackson gives you that 9K Kyle Kuzma feel. Not comfortable with that price, but in this matchup with what he's been doing, the injuries to the Clippers, it's a 50-point upside spot for him. So I think he's in the pool, but definitely not comfortable enough to be a tier 1 type of guy for me. Marcus Morris Sr., 5,900. If he sees 30-plus minutes, he can get you 40 fantasy points, or he can get you 20 fantasy points. I think, Robert Covington there definitely kind of hurt his upside and took away maybe some of the minutes. But I think he's still viable. Zubac, 6,100. Last game dropped 50 on him. 6 blocks, a little fake.
So we say that, but is it?
It's the Rockets, right? It's the Rockets. They give up the most blocks. They give up a ton of steals. I get it. But 6 is aggressive. I would project him in an aggressive spot at 3, maybe 2. At 6,100, I still think like 40 still is a great spot. So I think the rebounds are definitely doable again. He got 15. And that was a low-scoring game. That was 99-98. So if this game goes a little over that, maybe 110, 108, a few extra points, and he can still get there. So 6,100, I really like Zubac there. And the Houston side, Christian Wood, 8,100. Just a guy, again, where he has a floor, or I think of like 25 to 30 fantasy points, and that 50-point ceiling. So at 8,100, I think he's in play if I'm going to have a couple of these Clippers in the same lineup with him. And other than that, I'm probably not getting to anyone else here. Dennis Schroeder is intriguing, but again, not comfortable.
Yeah, so looking at, let's go from the beginning of Let's go from the beginning of February. Putting Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris on, taking off Norman Powell. Reggie Jackson has a 30% usage rate with a 33% assist rate, a 1.14 Fanduel points per minute, and a just incredible market share in minutes. So I think Reggie's somebody that, like you said, not going to be comfortable at 8K, but he's going to be a core piece for me tonight just because it's a great way to attack this Rockets, and I'm going to load up on him on that PrizePicks number. So if you guys are investors in that, I would definitely wouldn't talk you off of that. I think Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, Ivica Zubac, and then Luke Kennard at $4,600. Spin the wheel, make a deal. I don't know what the correlation to Kennard spike game. Who suffers in his absence? Who's that going to be? Kenny, appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel. But we have seen him drop 30-plus fantasy points in the Luke Kennard way. His last 2 games against the Rockets, 36 fantasy points, 8 fantasy points. What are you going to do? So I think he's going to be a risky value play, but he does make the player pool in mass entry. And if Kevin Porter can't play and Garrison Matthews can't play, Dennis Schroeder enters the chat at a very, very reasonable 5.5K on FanDuel, 5,900 on DraftKings. We talked about Jayshawn Tate on the PrizePicks show a little bit. I don't mind him. The guy that, in chat, I want your opinion as well. The guy that I don't know what to do with is Christian Wood. 7,200. You feel like with or without KPJ against the Clippers, with him, likely being top 2 in usage percentage on this Rockets team, he should be dominating. He should be dropping 40s, 50s like he was earlier in the season. But it does feel like game log wise, he's kind of checked out. His efficiency has certainly taken a step backwards. 1 for 2, 2 for 6, 1 for 2, so essentially, these games where he's not taking a ton of threes, only took 2 threes against the Clippers. But yet he was 6 for 12, so he's missing a lot of mid-range and in the paint shots. I feel like Christian Wood is one of those potentially obvious in retrospect plays where we should wholly expect 40, 50 fantasy points, but I'm just not comfortable there. Silas has kept a weird rotation even after trading Daniel Tice. We've seen a couple of heavy foul-induced games, 5 fouls against the Clippers in 32 minutes last game, and we've seen a couple games where Şengün will interrupt the flow of things, go out there and pop off Jayshawn Tate. And they also have, Kenyon Martin in the mix. What do you do with Christian Wood, Raj, and chat tonight? I'm getting a 40 fantasy point projection. I would take 40 at both prices. The 7,200 40 as a forward and center eligible, I believe, play on FanDuel would be something that I definitely would throw in the blender on a 6-game slate. What about you, Raj? Where's your comfort level on Christian Wood? And chat, please chime in on this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's one of those guys, like I said, the floor 25, ceiling for 50, 8,100. I want to see the pivot. So I think obviously Cat is going to be a strong play today. He's 10K at the center position. We mentioned Siakam, only 800 more on DK over Christian Wood. I think I'm leaning Siakam over Wood today for sure. In terms of other kind of expensive guys in that price tag, I think Jaylen Brown at 8,700, I'm probably going over Wood. Russell Westbrook's 8,300. I think I'm leaning Russell Westbrook over Wood. I might end up with the lot just because a lot of these guys in that similar price tag and above.
Are you really leaning Russell Westbrook? Come on.
I think so.
Don't put me in this position, Raj.
Yeah, right?
Don't make me do this.
Look, he hasn't been playing well.
Dang it.
Maybe I do have that little, I still think of that OKC Westbrook. But at 8,300, it's just... I think Westbrook's upside's higher.
If you think 8,300 Russell Westbrook is nice, you should log into FanDuel tonight, okay?
Yeah, was 66?
Yes.
66? Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, that's on FanDuel, that's the question of the slate. What are you going to do with Russell Westbrook at that price? But even on drafting 83, I think I'm leaning Westbrook over Wood. Not comfortably, but...
Right. I don't know. I think I lean Wood over Westbrook, but maybe if LeBron James ends up out, that'll change, but... Westbrook, I can't wait for him to not be able to hurt me anymore. Please. What up, Doug? What up, Jeremy? Schroeder and KPJ are basically the same, so Wood's rates without KPJ won't matter. And then Doug says, I'm not playing Wood between his lack of minutes and motivation. The next time I play Wood will be against Detroit. That's fair. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I'm just kind of genuinely curious to see what you guys are doing with them, because I really don't know what to do them, and I'm not getting a deep minute projection on really anyone on the Rockets. Silas, keeps that rotation pretty loose. So if we get decent minutes for KJ Martin, Alperen Sengun, Jay Shantae, Christian Wood, it wouldn't surprise me. But I also think that we can look at that last game for Christian Wood, and last couple games, probably point at some foul trouble and look at some inefficient shooting. A guy that's a big man, might expect him to get into double-digit shot attempts. Sometimes he'll get to 20 shot attempts if things are going the right way. And if you take out Garrison Matthews, you take out KPJ, there's some scoring to compensate for. So I don't know. I'm just curious to see what you guys are thinking there. Zubac, 58 on FanDuel, 61 on DraftKings. So look at that team DVP chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. The Houston Rockets have allowed the most fantasy points per game on the season to centers and to power forwards. They also allow amongst the most blocks per game to opposing bigs, to opposing anything. Also the most steals per game. So plenty of defensive peripherals available for the taking. So we mentioned Zubac had what feels like an outlier-esque amount of blocks against Houston in that last outing. And while, yes, maybe the number was a little bit high, the fact that he got blocks isn't that high or isn't that crazy, because it is a prime matchup for it. But even if he just got us to 30 fantasy points, which was the low game in his last 2 games against the Rockets, would probably take it. Hiccup, I'm drunk. And like we said, that 34 minutes against Houston came in a game where the game total didn't eclipse 200. He also got 11 more minutes than the game prior. So maybe we put some context to that and see why that happened and feel a little bit better. Because I put on his minute projection, what did I put, 28 maybe? I put 26. 26 gave me 35 fantasy points. I think 30 plus, I'd take that at the center position today anyway. Center's not that stacked past maybe Cat. So, yeah, what do we do with Zubac? Let's go look at the rotation for the Clippers' last couple games. So against the Rockets, how do we explain 11 extra minutes? So he closed the entire fourth quarter. Isaiah Hartenstein had 4 fouls. Is that how we did it? Maybe Hartenstein missed a couple minutes in the fourth quarter. Rocco played a lot of the fourth quarter alongside Zubac, filling in the gap for Nick Batum, who didn't play at all in the fourth quarter, and Marcus Morris missed half the fourth quarter. So was that atypical to the game prior or not? Looking at the game prior, there was a complete blowout in the fourth. So yeah, I guess maybe it's fair to say Zubac is live for high 20s in minutes in a competitive game. And 6K, I think the matchup is literally the number one matchup in center. So I'll take it. Let's see what you guys got in chat before we move on. If he plays hard, you're good. Lately, I can't trust it. Yeah, man, I think that's kind of the consensus, man. His motivation seems to be suspect. Jason says you can't play no Westbrook. His coach sits him and limits his play. Wood is solid, not as solid as metal, but solid. Yeah. Water's also kind of flimsy. Christian Wood is trash, but he'll hit value. He don't need that tonight. I do think the floor is a little bit more important today, right? So if you think high 30s and 40 fantasy points will get you into the conversation of a top finish, I don't think that's crazy, but it's certainly a position that there is some upside in with Cat. Maybe Zubac has a chance to match him in fantasy points. What up, Ronald Jones? I have a strange player that I can't seem to get away from today. Reggie Bullock on FanDuel. Yeah, dog. There's a couple people that have asked about Reggie Bullock, so we'll jump into some Reggie Bullock analysis. Boy, this sun comes out the same time every day. It's kind of like nature's reminder that I have less than an hour to get off the air. It's so stupid. All right, chat. We do need to do that the old PrizePicks plug. So if you guys are watching, you're not on PrizePicks, man, it would help me out, help the channel if you guys sign up using my code Gundacker, and then as a reward, they will double your first deposit up to $100. Throw $20 at it, get into 40. If you need some leans or some guidance on prize picks, every day before this show, we do the prize picks specific show of about an hour. Me and my boy Josh chop it up. We've also added the prop detector tab in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, kind of tiering our favorite props to attack on the night. And then, of course, in the premium Discord, we have the prize picks channel, and we also add a lot of prize picks discussion in the voice chat before lock every day in that RunDFS.com Discord. So be sure to check out prize picks, sign up using code Gundacker, and they'll show you some love, and then they'll also show me some love, and then I'll show you some love, and this is a whole lot of love to be loved. Warriors at the T-Wolves. This is a game that I love. Project 25 for the Warriors: Steph Curry, Gary Payton, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, and Kevin Looney up against Patrick Beverley, D'Angelo Russell crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jared Vanderbilt, and Karl Anthony Towns. The Big Cat. Ernie Ladd, 232.5 is our total, 1.5 point spread. Favored the Golden State Warriors since we've been live. Anthony Edwards is questionable. Oh, thanks to you. Now I don't know. Jared Vanderbilt is questionable as well. So the T-Wolves, I do have a back-to-back.
I don't know what that was.
I don't either, man. I don't know.
You had the same melody as like a Kelly Clarkson song. I was like, okay. I thought you were not on that vibe.
I mean, that was the bit. Yes.
Yeah.
You got that. So, God dang it, this sun's driving me nuts. Raj, Warriors are without Klay Thompson. So Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry likely to pick up a lot of the offensive load here. Now I do think there's a couple lineups Steve Kerr can throw out, and if Otto Porter entered that starting lineup, I do think Otto Porter could pick up some of this offense as well. But if what I'm looking at is closer to what we expect, Curry and Wiggins, those are two guys I'm leaning on pretty hard. And Andrew Wiggins at 5,500 on FanDuel. That's going to get me in trouble, boss. That is going to get me in trouble. Yes, sir, Bob Rand. 36 fantasy points is my projection on Wiggins on that $5,500 price point. And if we lose Vanderbilt, he's definitely a hit defensively for them. And then if we lose Anthony Edwards, we can kind of narrow down our usage expectations or guess expectations and look at D'Angelo Russell a little bit more, Cat a little bit more, and maybe there's a world where they coexist today. And then we have the Patrick Beverley, Steph Curry narrative. They're great friends, former roommates, and Cat is 9,300 on FanDuel, and that just seems like a really soft price. And then if you're into betting trends, my boy Josh listed that Cat is on just a tear when it comes to rebounds against the Warriors, and then if we lose Vanderbilt, the Warriors are just so porous and rebounding that Cat can continue this double-digit rebound stretch. So a lot to like here. The Edwards news, maybe we don't have that in time for the first game tip-off or second game, but I certainly think there's enough late-night versatility and flexibility where I'd be late swapping into and out of some spots to get exposure to guys that would benefit without Edwards, D-Russ, and Cat. And I probably expect to have a lot of Cat no matter what. And then, like I said, I'm high on Wiggins. And then Steph Curry, without Klay Thompson, expect him to shoulder a lot of the real scoring loads, 20, 30 real points, and then Wiggins as well, and then maybe Curry for assists. So Steph Curry, I got him for 53 fantasy points on FanDuel. If we look at the player projections chart in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, Curry's coming in top 3. Luka's up there. LeBron James is questionable. Steph Curry's right there in the mix. Trae Young, tough matchup. So there's a real chance and a reasonable range of outcome for Steph Curry to just lead the slate in fantasy points as it is. So I think he's going to be somebody I get to a lot of, especially at $1,100 discount on FanDuel versus DraftKings. Raj, what say you, man? The Warriors and T-Wolves, man. What are you doing?
I mean, with that Anthony Edwards questionable news right now, I'm going to lean towards him being out. I think D'Angelo Russell and Cat are locks. 60 to 80% of them. Russell at 7,600, you gotta love. Cat, I think in all likelihood, probably the highest score to slate in this spot. Give me all that, and then even a guy like, if Prince sees more minutes, we've seen him have big games anytime he plays 30 minutes or more. If Jaden McDaniel, if he gets a bump in minutes, We've seen him have some big games. So I think 3 guys from Minnesota, even a guy like Beverly, if his usage will spike a little bit with no Anthony Edwards there, I think he's a guy at 5K that can get you 30, 35 DKP. So 3 Minnesota guys in a lot of lineups would probably be the popular play if Edwards is indeed ruled out. The Golden State side, I love Steph Curry here, 10-8. He's going to chuck. Easy matchup for him. It's probably the highest scoring game on the slate. I think Steph Curry could be a core play.
Core play, yeah. Andrew Wiggins as well. And then, like I said, if Otto Porter does enter the starting lineup, or we just kind of plant some bigger minutes on him, I could see that happening as well. Ronnie sent me a customer service inquiry. Ronnie, I see you, buddy. Click VIP portal. If you're not watching, then I will get with you.
Like Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney's a very interesting play too.
Yeah, I just don't see myself getting to him, but yes, I agree with you, and I'm actually getting there's a solid projection on him, so I don't think that's...
What's the projection, 28-30?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
4,500, 30 fantasy points, I'll take that all day, every day.
Yeah. So I feel like we had a split earlier this season where, maybe not earlier, like right before the All-Star break, where Edwards was questionable and ended up playing anyway. So I maybe don't put too much stock in the midday queue on him, but it is something that's noteworthy. And the other one was Vanderbilt. If Vanderbilt didn't play, would that create an opportunity for Taurean Prince to pop off as a potential value play? Maybe they go like Nas Reed or some lineup where they have twin towers. I do think that the Warriors can force you to play small ball, and maybe Taurean Prince fits that a little bit more. 20 minutes out of Prince last night, 27 Fanduel or DKP, and we've seen him be about a point per minute. Can get into foul trouble, but his defensive peripherals are pretty high. So maybe jot that name down in pencil. If it's the middle of the night, you need some help from some value, and Vanderbilt ends up not playing, maybe look at Taurean Prince to pick up some slack. Let's get caught up on chat here, then we'll move on. Oh man, I gotta scroll up a little bit. Solo says, everyone please hit that like. Yo, Solo with the love, I appreciate that. You guys hit the love button, right? 60 likes on 173 viewers. Yeah, you guys can crush that. You know you can. I like man on Fanduel if this game blows out. Yeah, Guns got pipes. No, you don't. They juice Cat's rebound and D'Lo's assist prop. Pulled Pat Bev's 3.5 assist prop. Dang.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? If Vanderbilt and Ant sit, what about Prince at 3? Yeah, also I like that. I like that a lot, for sure. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. I said it yesterday. I think we've peaked as a stream. I don't think we're gonna hit. We're gonna break the concurrent viewership record after what we did a couple weeks ago. But we can definitely break the like record. So if you guys want to hit that goal, get your jersey in the rafters as a collective unit, a chat, hit that like button. 189 is the record. So if you guys get to 190 on one of these streams, do so. I keep tracking the baseball stuff. It looks like maybe they don't make the deadline today, and
we're losing a month of the season.
That's a shame. That is a shame. What are you gonna do? God dang it, baseball, get it together, dude. I was so hopeful last night that they were gonna come through.
Yeah, it looked like it, but no. And your boy Derek Jeter got let go.
He didn't get let go. He quit because they wanted to tank.
I thought he got fired.
Nah, they want to tank. He wants to not tank. Drogs, appreciate that sub, man. Welcome to the channel. All right, we got one game left on the docket. Take a pause for the cause. You guys want to hang out with me after the stream for about 2 hours? I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat, hanging out, kicking it with you guys. And you guys are welcome to jump in that voice chat. Grab a mic, chop up some shop up. We'll be talking prize picks, player props, and then, of course, strategy. In the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, list my player pool, what I got exposures to, and then, of course, the projections are constantly tweaked before lock, and then Danny's been spamming the new Gundacker Gaming Discord link. If you guys jump into that. The first 100 of you guys going to get that roll. This one is free, completely free. The Run DFS, not free, but this one's free. And you guys have been jumping in there. Shout out to everyone. OB, Mock, Pats, Just Trey, The Dirty Fowler, Cowboys Nation, KJ Smash, not once, but twice. So appreciate you guys jumping in there and hopping in the NBA chat, man. You guys are doing great, man. Appreciate you guys getting in here, and hopefully that community can build on a foundation of positive vibes. He out, bruh? Yeah, he out. He ain't get let go. F out of here. Free game star, you line up Towns, Prince, McDaniels. All right. Mavs at the Lakers. Next game on the docket. Last game on the docket. Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell taking on Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Trevor Ariza, and Dwight Howard. 216.5 total, 5.5 point spread in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. The Lakers let DeAndre Jordan walk yesterday. Sounds like he might get picked up by the 76ers, and that might allow us to continue to invest in this Dwight Howard streak of solid games, starting as pure center for the Lakers. Last two games, 22 and 26 minutes, 21 and 44 fantasy points, double-digit rebounds. Curious to see where they would line him or start his line on PrizePicks. Last game against the Pelicans, a little bit of a blowout. The Clippers game, more competitive. I don't expect him to be like a 30-plus minute guy, but maybe if LeBron James doesn't play, we might get a surprise here. LeBron listed as questionable with general knee soreness. He's played through a lot of Q tags this year, but he's also sat a few times. And this Lakers team is open for user and viewer interpretation, and it has been awful body language, at least out of that last game. So God only knows. Luka Doncic, 10.8K on Fanduel, 12K on DraftKings. He has probably the highest probability to lead the slate in fantasy points. I've got him about a 5-6 point projection above number 2 right now, and we've seen him in competitive games. He does so much of everything that he's likely in a competitive game going to give you 60 to 70 fantasy points. Will 60 to 70 fantasy points be enough to be optimal today? I think it's possible. I think yesterday, unlike like Giannis, who talked about Giannis getting 60, 70, there was a lot of beef at the 8-9K. Today's a little bit flimsier to where I could see 65, 70 out of Luka just being straight up optimal, no way around it. Last couple games, 55, 51, 84, 45, 76, and these games that are getting 35, 37 minutes against tougher defenses on the Jazz, the Warriors, still muscling out almost a point per minute or over a point, well over a point per minute, 1.5. So I think Luke is very much live to be ultimate late night hammer tonight. So I don't mind that. Pace-wise, the Mavs are going to bring in one of the lowest paces in the league, and then the Lakers are just going to offer who knows. So give me some Luka here. I think Dwight Howard for value standing out. We're waiting on this LeBron James news. Chat, Russell Westbrook. Oh, it's tough. He's always going to project really well at these prices, especially at 6,600 on FanDuel, especially if LeBron James was out. But he certainly doesn't seem to be in great standings with Frank Vogel. They've got a little bit of a feud going on. So it's a whole lot of, let's say, intangible stuff to consider, whereas the numbers really can't compensate for the disaster that is the Lakers right now. So I think numbers-wise, you can give me Luka, you can give me Dwight Howard. We've talked about Jalen Brunson and his scoring propensity. Spencer Dinwiddie has arrived and shown that he can score as well. And then we've seen Reggie Bullock's name in chat a few times. And I do think Reggie Bullock, maybe his FanDuel price point, feels a little bit more welcoming because he is at 3,700 on FanDuel, $200 above min. It is the Lakers. They have allowed some shooters to shoot. Last couple games for Reggie Bullock has flirted with 20 fantasy points, double-digit real points. So if you guys wanted to get behind that, I don't think that's a crazy take. Raj, what the heck are you doing with this game? Luka, how much Luka comparative to some of your other players? Does it feel like a night where you're going to get to like more Steph and more of those 8-9K guys, maybe Karl-Anthony Towns, somebody like that? Or do you expect a 60-plus from Luka to be something that you want to have a decent chunk of exposure to tonight?
I just don't trust the Lakers to not get blown out here. Mavericks have been playing well. Lakers have been playing. I mean, Lakers have been playing like a lottery team. So I wouldn't be shocked here if the Mavericks blow him out and Luka doesn't get a full fourth quarter run. And at 12K, I mean, he needs a full kind of high scoring game, and he has to outscore guys like Cat, guys like Steph, in good spots here. So I'm probably not getting to a lot of Luka here. I just don't quite trust the Lakers. And in terms of a Dinwiddie coming off of a huge game before that he had, again, not running to play him at 5'6". I think he's viable. 26, 31 minutes past couple of games. The usage is there for him to do his thing, but at 5,600, there's other pivots that I prefer. And the Lakers side, I mean, I mentioned Westbrook at 8,300. Just a cheap price tag for Westbrook. If this game were to stay close, I think he's going to have a good game. He dropped 49 on Dallas last time. 49 fans, which will take all day at 8-3. So I think he's definitely viable. But other than him, even the guy like LeBron at 11-2, I think he's going to do his thing. I think he definitely has a floor of essentially 50. It's just the upside. I don't know if it's in this spot. Dallas has been great defensively.
Yeah, and they also run a really slow pace, so it just kind of makes that happen. I don't know. I like the middle games. I like the Clippers Rockets. I like the T-Wolves Warriors game. And I think that'll be the bulk of my exposure. But I do want a little piece of Luka. And my goodness, is this Westbrook stuff going to really, really get on me on FanDuel? Like, I almost want to just play on DraftKings and hope that Westy just gets like a fadeable 40, because 6,600 is going to kill me, man. There's no way projection model is not going to spit out an insane number of Westbrook production. Keep an eye on LeBron James news. His status is up in the air. Let's get caught up on chat here before we move on. Doug says Jordan to the Sixers. You can't tell me he's better than Enes Kanter right now. I don't know.
Who's better than Enes Kanter right now?
DeAndre Jordan's like the worst player in the league.
Yeah, he hasn't been good for a couple seasons.
But
now.
He's a yes man, get rebounds, and he's not gonna start a war between. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I just want to say, when you take those kind of stands as a player, like if you're an elite player, if you're like a LeBron, people over, kind of that level, Luka, Trae Young, if you're like a strong quality player, a starter, I think people just overlook it or just deal with it. You're not going to get, you're not going to get blackballed from the league. But when you're kind of a fringe bench guy, you can get blackballed, no doubt.
Bullock revenge game. Adam Palmer, what up, Adam? Says only problem with Howard is if they look bad, even if he look good, rotate to Anthony Johnson or James. Yeah, definitely not a lot of minute equity or confidence in Dwight Howard, but per minute his fantasy production is pretty lucrative. What up, Ada Dynasty? Yo, Ada Dynasty. I think I messaged you on Twitter the other day. If you didn't see that, or I responded to you on Twitter. What up, Obi? Lakers might win tonight. Stop. I mean, they might. What up, Tea-Time? Tea-Time? Yeah. Westbrook, stop it. Is Westbrook too cheap? God dang it, Obi. You guys know my stance, man. I'm a fan of Westbrook, but yeah, this year's been really, really bad. But 6,600 is gonna get me. Westbrook is still 1.09 to 1.13 fantasy points per minute. Yeah, he does tend to get benched down the stretch. We've seen him not close a couple games or not play in overtime. Vogel and Westbrook, they've been passive aggressive, we'll say, in some of their verbiage and press conference and stuff like that. So the per minute production not really that big of a problem or scare to me. Maybe the turnovers is certainly something to spook you off of like Fanduel or PrizePicks, but if Westbrook gets 33 minutes, especially if it's without LeBron James, it's going to be hard to stay away from a $600 price point for me on FanDuel. It's going to be hard to not be aggressive on that and hope for the best, but it is hurt me more than it's helped me this year. I think my best Westbrook night was against the Knicks, and he dropped like 70. Ever since then, it's been a lot of chasing that feeling. What up, Malacre? LMA tonight. Aldridge, night 2 of a back-to-back. No Kyrie. I don't mind the thought of him. I do worry about that game being competitive again. We haven't seen a whole lot of fight out of the Nets. At this price point, as center only, at Dwight Howard, I might get more of that. But Aldridge certainly per minute can be be a producer, and they might need his real points pretty handily tonight in another game without Kyrie Irving. Just need that game to stay close. And last night, there was a lot that didn't go the Nets' ways. The Raptors had a ton of offensive rebounds, a ton of steals and blocks. The defense was on a different level. So the score got lopsided pretty fast. Maybe night 2 doesn't go quite as awry, right? It's a trap. Stay away. It's a trap. Maybe. So we're at 3:23. We're actually done. So if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, throw them at us in chat. It's going to be kind of like a week of modest slates here. I keep refreshing Twitter, hoping that baseball changes their mind. Or I think it came down to like the player. It says breaking from Jeff Passan. Breaking. MLB Players Association players leaders agreed unanimously not to accept the MLB's final proposal, and there will be no deal on a new collective bargaining agreement before MLB's 5 p.m. deadline. That means opening day is more than likely canceled. Fudge. That's unfortunate. Oh well. 2, 4, 6, 8 games tomorrow. Thursday, 7 games. Friday, looks like 9 games. We're getting a lot of solid size slates to grind this week. So hopefully we turn a pretty penny throughout the week. It's gonna be fun. Adam says Luka in that arena is 50 plus fantasy points all day for sure. I'm thinking 60 plus is realistic, right? Kyrie versus Freedom. You guys are right. You guys are crazy. Does the other guy get to talk? Does Raj get to talk? He never shuts up.
Talk about it.
I've never seen somebody come in here before. Jace, what do you mean? Is that your burner, Raj? You want him to sing? He'll sing too.
Said I'm so sick of love songs, so sad and slow. That's all you get.
Oh man, see, they done got it. Fade Kuzma base get more minutes than the sneaky play too. Kuzma's price tag is definitely uncomfortable, but he just keeps getting you 50, 60, and he's still underpriced for 50, 60 fantasy point potential, especially on the Fanduel price point, right? Was hoping to play fantasy baseball for the first time this year. We'll get you there, Ada Dynasty. It just looks like it's going to be a little later than usual. What are you going to do? Just hit you back. All right, Ada Dynasty. Bay is boss today. I can get behind that. Rajpak. I think Raj looks like Rinpak, maybe. I also feel that's a little racist, but
Rinpak, yeah. Who?
Rin's the GOAT. It's just insane. One of the best players on the planet. Raj, where were you at when Gunn needed help on that solo? On that since you've been gone, yo Jay. Hey.
Oh, he wanted some melodies there.
Maybe. I think it's Luka's birthday, so he might just stay out there even if he blow it. You think so? Can we talk about Kuzma real quick? Why did he fail last time out against the Pistons? Can he succeed today? So yeah, we can talk about Kuzma for sure. Kuzma. So is that the? Let me. Kuzma. Did I type it? Yep. Kuzma. Nah. God dang it, bro! I'm not typing. Last time out against the Pistons. That was on February 14th. 38 minutes, 35 fantasy points. Yeah, I guess you probably could have wanted more. Let's go pull up the rotation from that game for the Washington. Could just been like a down game too. I mean, that happens. He had 18 shot attempts that game, so the volume was still there. Maybe you expect a few more peripherals, but getting you a baseline of 20 plus real points, good starting point. And then rotations, Washington against Detroit. I skipped over the. Here it is.
Some people in the chat don't know about that Jalen Carter. I need to open up that Spotify. Don't play the song.
I literally played your music video.
I know,
and I got copyright strike.
It's distribution. It's DistroKid or CD Baby. Sorry, they just flag it. Just go on Spotify. Just show them. Show the pictures.
The pictures of Raj on it. Oh.
Spotify. Yeah,
I don't want to open Spotify, but a YouTube video. You're on YouTube, right? Jalen Carter music. Yeah, check them out. Yeah, I don't really have a rhyme or reason for that last game. Doug, maybe was that the game Thomas Bryant went a little fake? Let's see, Thomas Bryant.
Raptors.
Detroit owns the souls of the forward position. I don't know. I tend to weigh usage a little bit more than anything. No, Thomas. I don't know. He just, I guess the peripherals really weren't there. But 20 plus real points. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna overthink it. Obviously, it's not gonna be a core play for me at 9K. That money, I probably have a little bit more cat. Curry is gonna be somebody I'm in the mix for a lot. I think mid-price guys, I'm gonna be really, really high on Andrew Wiggins. And there was one. I guess Reggie's more of a Fanduel play when it comes to being low price. But I don't know. Reggie, Wiggins I like quite a bit. Who else did we talk about? Bogdanovich has been 30 points flat. If we get the Raptors news, we're probably going to see a lot of people run back after Malachi Flynn if it goes the right way. And then maybe Terrence Mann gets some big minutes to chase here. Sounded more like Aaron Carter. Wow.
Distant. How about Aaron? Well, we kind of got back both to Aaron Carter, but man, distant.
What?
Aaron Carter.
Bruh.
Well, yeah, y'all got to go listen to him. You ain't the one. We're done.
Hey, Aaron Carter did beat
Shaq. He did sell millions of records. Don't get it twisted. Aaron Carter made millions and sold millions of records.
He beat Shaq in a 1v1, bro. It happened. Pistons have some linked. Oh, maybe some lunch. Let's go. Got some spaghetti. Let's go. What up, Rick Anderson? Huh? No, thank you. Maybe hit that air. 6'9", the wingspan of 7'3", maybe. Raj, you got any hot takes? Send them on the road. We can get out of here a little bit early.
Hot take today. Let's do. Who is the guy today? That's a bit of a hot take. I'm gonna go with, Seth Curry rebounds. Seth Curry back with a 45 fantasy point game.
Okay, a little bit of a hot take, a little bit. Chat, hit that thumbs up for me on your way out. Twitter.com/Gundacker. Let's finish strong. Be sure to jump in that free Discord, and then if you want to get in the premium Discord, I'm gonna be in the voice chat for the next couple hours. I'm going to get some grub on for the next 30 minutes, but then I'll jump in there and we'll make that player poll. Hopefully we'll crush it tonight. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. D. McMill, appreciate that sub. And then we'll be back for the DFS show at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. You guys are the best. I love you guys. Please tell somebody you love them. It's a rough world out there. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.